Alan Carter's phone rang at 3:12 a.m. He fumbled in the dark, knocking over a glass of water before finding it. His eyes burned as he squinted at the bright screen. The caller ID showed it was the secure line from work. This was not a social call. "Carter?" he mumbled, his voice thick with sleep. "Doctor, you need to come in now," said the voice of Linda Pearson, his chief signal analyst. "We found something." Alan sat up straight, suddenly wide awake. "Is it confirmed?" "Yes. Triple-checked. It's real. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Alan threw on clothes and rushed out to his car. The roads were empty at this hour, and his mind raced with possibilities. For 10 years, he had led Earth's extraterrestrial signal analysis department. For 10 years, they had listened to the stars, hoping for a sign that humanity was not alone in the universe. Now finally they had something. The security guard at the underground facility nodded as Alan swiped his badge. He took the elevator down 12 floors and rushed through the sterile white hallways to the main control room. Linda and 5 other scientists huddled around a large screen. They looked up as he entered, their faces a mix of excitement and fear. "Show me," Alan said. Linda tapped a few keys, and a sound filled the room. It was unlike anything Alan had heard before, a series of pulses and tones that clearly followed a pattern. Not random noise from space, but a message. "What's the source?" Alan asked. "A star system about 20 light-years away," Linda said. "We've named it Signal 1. The message repeats every 9 minutes. "And the translation?" Another scientist, Greg Powell, stepped forward. "We've been working on it since we confirmed it wasn't Earth-based. The pattern is complex but logical. We believe it's a distress call." Alan's heart raced. "You're sure?" I'd say, message contains mathematical sequences that couldn't occur naturally, followed by what we believe are coordinates and some kind of danger warning. Parts of it match universal warning symbols, like skull and crossbones are to humans. "So someone out there is in trouble," Alan said quietly. "Yes, and they're broadcasting on a frequency that suggests they want anyone with the technology to hear it." Alan took a deep breath. "Call the president and the UN secretary. This changes everything." Within hours, the secure facility buzzed with activity. Government officials arrived in waves. Scientists from around the world connected via video calls. The message was being analyzed by every expert Earth could find. By noon, they had decoded more of the signal. It contained images, simple but clear. A peaceful species calling themselves the Luminari was under attack. Their enemies, shown as dark, angular shapes, were called Void Reapers in the rough translation. Alan stood before a room of world leaders and military commanders, pointing at the projected images. The Luminari appear to be a spacefaring civilization, but not warriors. Their technology seems advanced in some ways, primitive in others. They're being hunted by these Void Reapers. Admiral Lisa Gray, head of the newly formed Earth Space Defense, spoke up. "And they've sent this message to anyone who might help?" "Yes," Alan confirmed. "It's a general distress call. They probably don't even know Earth exists specifically." "Can we respond?" the president asked. "We can," Alan said. "But should we? This isn't first contact as we imagined it. It's being pulled into an interstellar conflict we know nothing about." The room fell silent. Finally, the Chinese representative spoke. "If we heard a ship sinking in our oceans, would we not send help?" "This is different," a European leader countered. "We barely have interstellar capability. Our ships are new, untested for combat." Admiral Gray stood up. "With respect, that's not entirely true. The United Earth Fleet may be small, but it's strong. Our ships were built to withstand the harsh conditions of space exploration from a high-gravity world. Our people are trained for extreme situations. You're suggesting we send our ships? Our people?" The president looked shocked. "I'm suggesting we answer the call," Gray said firmly. "These Luminari sent out a plea for help. They may not know what they're getting. A species from what they'd probably consider a death world." A murmur went through the room. Alan had read the scientific papers. Earth's gravity, weather patterns, and biodiversity would classify it as a dangerous planet to most spacefaring species. Humans had evolved to survive in conditions that would crush many alien life forms. They were stronger, more durable, and more adaptable than many species might expect. If these Void Reapers want prey, Admiral Gray continued, they should be careful what they hunt. They might find themselves facing Earth's predators instead. After 3 days of debate, the vote was held. Earth would respond. The signal would be answered. A fleet would be sent. Admiral Catherine Everett was chosen to lead the mission. A veteran of space exploration and a tactical genius, she would command Earth's first interstellar rescue mission. The day before launch, Alan met with Catherine at the spaceport. The massive ships loomed above them, being loaded with supplies and weapons. Are we doing the right thing? Alan asked. Catherine looked up at her flagship, the Intrepid. I believe we are, not just for them, but for us. Humanity needed a purpose greater than itself. You'll be greatly outnumbered if the intelligence is accurate. Catherine smiled slightly. Numbers aren't everything, Doctor. These aliens have never met humans before. They don't know what we're capable of. And what are we capable of? Alan asked. We're capable of crossing 20 light years to help someone we've never met, she said. We're capable of facing unknown dangers because someone called for help. We're capable of being the heroes in this story, not just the newcomers. A technician approached and saluted. Admiral, the final systems check is complete. The fleet is ready. Catherine nodded. Then it's time. Humanity's first step into the galactic community will be to answer a cry for help. I can think of no better introduction. As Alan watched Catherine walk toward her ship, he wondered what the luminary would think when they discovered who had answered their call. Would they see humans as saviors, or as something to fear themselves? Earth was sending its best, but its best were creatures evolved on a world that had forged them through adversity and challenge. The fleet would launch at dawn. The Deathworlders were coming, not to conquer, but to protect. The space around Earth buzzed with activity. Ships from every nation with space capability moved into formation. Some were built for war, others were science vessels hastily fitted with shields and weapons. All of them gathered around the massive flagship Intrepid. Inside the Intrepid's command center, Admiral Catherine Everett watched the fleet assemble on the main screen. She had never seen so many Earth ships in one place before. Until now, their missions had been separate, competitive. Today they flew as one. Fleet status report, she ordered. Her second-in-command, Captain Daniel Hayes, checked his tablet. 27 ships ready for launch, Admiral. Final supplies being loaded now. Catherine nodded. And the crew? All personnel aboard except for the Marine units. Colonel Martinez is bringing them up on the last shuttle. The doors slid open and a broad-shouldered man in a Marine uniform entered. Colonel Jason Martinez carried himself with quiet confidence. Behind him walked a slim woman with short red hair, Dr. Olivia Wright. Admiral, Martinez said with a nod. My teams are aboard and ready. 400 of Earth's finest as requested. And I've finalized the combat protocols, Dr. Wright added. Based on what little we know of both species, I've prepared strategy, recommendations. Catherine gestured for them to join her at the command table. A holographic map appeared showing the 20-light-year journey ahead. We'll be in unknown territory, she said. Our FTL drives have never been pushed this far or this fast. Dr. Wright, your strategy plans will be essential. Colonel, your Marines may face alien combat unlike anything we've trained for. Martinez smiled slightly. With respect, Admiral, humans adapt. That's what we do best. The comm system beeped. Admiral, the final science team has arrived, a voice announced. The door opened again. Dr. Nathan Wells entered, followed by Samantha Rodriguez. Wells carried medical equipment, while Rodriguez held a device that looked like a small satellite dish. Dr. Wells, our xenobiologist, Catherine said, and Ms. Rodriguez, communications specialist, please tell me you've made progress on the translation. Samantha nodded eagerly. I've been working with the signal nonstop. The original message uses mathematical patterns as a foundation. I've expanded our translation program based on those patterns. It won't be perfect, but we should be able to communicate when we arrive. And I've prepared for any medical emergencies. Wells added, both for treating potential alien allies and for handling any biological threats. Catherine looked around at her team. These were the best minds and soldiers Earth had to offer. They would need to be. Earth Control has cleared us for departure, Captain Hayes announced. They're waiting for your order, Admiral. Catherine walked to the front viewport. The blue curve of Earth hung below them. For thousands of years, humans had looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. Now they knew the answer, and their first step into the galactic community would be as protectors. Send the signal to all ships, she ordered. Begin launch sequence. One by one, the ships of Earth's fleet ignited their engines. Below, on the planet's surface, millions watched the live streams as humanity's first interstellar rescue mission departed. The journey would take 3 weeks at maximum FTL speed. During that time, the crew trained constantly. Colonel Martinez ran combat simulations with his Marines, adjusting tactics based on Dr. Wright's calculations of alien physiology and behavior. In the science lab, Dr. Wells studied the images from the distress signal, trying to understand luminary biology. Their bone structure appears much lighter than ours, he explained to Admiral Everett during a briefing. If the images are to scale, they evolved on a world with perhaps half of Earth's gravity. Which means, Catherine asked, they'll be taller, more fragile, and they'll find our normal gravity crushing. If they come aboard our ships, we'll need to adjust our artificial gravity for them. In the communications center, Samantha worked tirelessly on the translation program. She had pinned images from the signal all around her workspace. The luminary language uses tones as well as words, she told Catherine. Their vocal range is wider than ours, but the program is learning. I think we'll be able to speak with them. 2 weeks into the journey, they passed the edge of charted space. No human had ever ventured this far before. The crew grew quieter, more focused. They were truly in the unknown now. Catherine often walked the decks of the Intrepid at night, when fewer crew were about. During one such walk, she found Colonel Martinez in the observation deck staring out at the stars. Trouble sleeping, Colonel? She asked. He shook his head. Just thinking, Admiral, about what we might find. Having doubts? No, he said firmly. But I am thinking about first contact happening like this through a battle, not how anyone imagined it. Catherine stood beside him, looking out at the endless stars. Humans have always revealed their true character in moments of crisis. Maybe this is fitting. You think they know what they're getting? Martinez asked. These luminari, do they have any idea what humans are like? Catherine smiled slightly. They sent a call for help into the dark. Something answered. I doubt they're going to complain about what form that help takes. On the final day of the journey, Catherine called all senior staff to the bridge. The mood was tense but focused. We'll exit FTL in 1 hour, she announced. All ships will emerge in defensive formation. Weapon systems on standby but not targeted. We want to appear helpful but not reckless. She looked around at their faces. Humans who had trained all their lives for space exploration, now about to become the first of their species to make contact with alien life. Whatever we find there, remember this. We represent Earth. All of humanity. Our response to this distress call will define how our species is seen by the galactic community for generations to come. The final hour passed quickly. The countdown to exit from FTL Drive echoed through all ships of the fleet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The stars stopped streaking past the viewports. The fleet emerged into normal space. On the main screen, a blue gas giant planet appeared. Orbiting it was a massive crystalline structure, a space station but unlike anything humans had built. Parts of it sparkled in the light of the distant sun. Other sections were dark, damaged, and around it, ships moved in battle, elegant curved vessels that glowed with soft light. Presumably the Luminari, were being pursued by angular black ships that reminded Catherine of Earth's predatory sea creatures. Magnify, she ordered. The image zoomed in. They could now see the Luminari ships desperately trying to defend the station. Their weapons seemed weak, ineffective. The black ships tore through their defenses with ease. Life signs? Catherine asked. Thousands on the station, Wells reported from his console. Both species present. Catherine straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. Open a channel to all Earth ships. Priority 1. Hayes nodded. Channel open, Admiral. This is Admiral Everett. We have arrived at the coordinates and confirmed the distress situation is active. Move to Combat Protocol Alpha, protect the station, and engage hostile forces. Earth fleet is now responding to the SOS. Humanity has entered the galactic stage. The human ships moved forward as one. The Deathworlders had arrived. The Earth fleet moved into a defensive formation around the damaged Crystal Station. The Dark Void Reaper ships broke off their attack on the Luminary vessels, turning their attention to the newcomers. They've noticed us, Captain Hayes said. Admiral. Everett nodded. Good. Now let's show them what humans can do. Captain, move the Intrepid between those attackers and the station. All ships. Defensive positions. The human ships responded instantly. Like a practice dance, they spread out to form a protective wall. On the main screen, the black ships paused. Catherine imagined their confusion. They had been hunting easy, prey, and suddenly 27 unknown vessels had appeared. They're scanning us, reported the sensor officer. Let them look, Catherine said. They'll find our hulls are stronger than they expect. The first attack came moments later. 3 Void Reaper ships fired energy weapons at the human fleet. The beams struck the Intrepid's shields. Shields holding at 92%, Hayes reported. Their weapons are powerful but not beyond our defenses. Catherine allowed herself a small smile. Return fire. Target their weapon systems only. Show restraint but make our point clear. Earth's ships fired back. Their weapons, designed to function in the harsh conditions of space, struck with precision. 2 of the enemy ships spun away. Weapons disabled. The Luminary ships are retreating to the station, Hayes said. They're regrouping behind our line. Open a channel to the station, Catherine ordered. Ms. Rodriguez, let's see if your translation program works. Samantha's voice came over the comm. Channel open, Admiral. Translation program running, Catherine. Straightened her uniform. This is Admiral Catherine Everett of the Earth Defense Fleet. We received your distress signal and have come to render assistance. Please respond. For several long seconds, only static answered. Then a voice, high and musical, came through the speakers. Earth beings? You came to help? From what system? We are from a planet called Earth, approximately 20 light years. From your position, Catherine replied. We are here to help protect your station and people from attack. Another pause. When the voice returned, it sounded shocked. You traveled so far? For strangers? Yes. That is what humans do when they hear a call for help. The Void Reapers were regrouping now. More of their ships moved toward the human fleet, clearly preparing for a larger assault. Admiral, Hayes warned, they're forming an attack pattern. Hold position, Catherine ordered. To the Luminary, we need to coordinate our defense. Can you send a representative to our ship? Yes, the voice replied. Preparing transport now. Thank you, Earth beings. The battle paused as both sides assessed each other. 10 minutes later, a small, elegant shuttle departed from the Crystal Station, heading toward the Intrepid. Colonel Martinez, Catherine called. Over the comm, meet our guests in Docking Bay 3. Dr. Wells, adjust gravity in that section to 0.5 Earth normal. Let's not crush our new friends. In the docking bay, Martinez stood with a small honor guard. The Luminary shuttle landed gracefully. Its doors opened and 3 beings stepped out. They were tall, nearly 7 feet, and slender. Their skin glowed with a soft blue light. They had 4 arms and moved with flowing grace that seemed almost like dancing. Their faces held large, multifaceted eyes that reflected light like gemstones. The lead Luminary approached Martinez, then stopped suddenly, staring at him. You are so solid, it said, its voice translated through Samantha's program. Martinez nodded respectfully. I'm Colonel Jason Martinez, Earth Defense Force Marines. Welcome aboard the Intrepid. I am Ambassador Alara, the Luminary replied. You are from a death world? Your density, your muscle structure. Martinez tried not to show his surprise. Earth has higher gravity than what you're used to, it seems. We've adjusted this area to make you more comfortable. Ilara looked around, in wonder. Even at reduced levels, your normal conditions would crush most Luminari. You are truly remarkable beings. Martinez led them to the bridge where Admiral Everett waited. The Luminari moved cautiously, as if still afraid the humans, might hurt them accidentally. Ambassador Ilara, Catherine greeted. Welcome aboard. I wish our meeting could happen under better circumstances. Ilara bowed, a graceful movement. We sent our distress call in desperation. The Void Reapers have hunted our kind for generations. They consider us easy prey. Our defense systems are minimal. We are a peaceful species. Who are these Void Reapers? Catherine asked. Predators, Ilara explained. They take resources and living specimens from peaceful worlds. They consider it their right as the stronger species. Ilara gestured to the humans around the bridge. But you are different. You have the strength of predators, but you use it to protect. Before Catherine could respond, alarms blared. The main screen showed the Void Reapers launching a full attack. All ships, battle stations, Catherine ordered. Ambassador, please remain on the bridge if you wish. You're about to see how humans fight. The black ships swarmed forward, firing energy weapons. This time, they concentrated their attack on just 3 human vessels. The Dauntless and Phoenix are taking heavy fire, Hayes reported. Move to support them, Catherine ordered. And prepare boarding parties. Ilara looked shocked. Boarding? You would send your people onto their ships? It's what we do, Martinez explained. Humans are adaptable. We fight best up close. Catherine turned to Martinez. Colonel, take your teams. Show them what Marines from a high-gravity world can do. Martinez grinned. With pleasure, Admiral. As the battle raged outside, small human shuttles launched from the Earth ships. They dodged enemy fire and attached themselves to the hulls of the largest Void Reaper vessels. Dr. Wells studied his scanner. Admiral, I'm detecting a weakness in the Reapers. They seem highly sensitive to certain light frequencies, specifically the natural bioluminescence of the Luminari. Ambassador Ilara nodded. Yes, our light is painful to them. It is why they attack from a distance. But our lights are not strong enough to use as weapons. Wells smiled. Perhaps not yours alone. But we can modify our weapons to emit that same frequency, only stronger. Do it, Catherine ordered. Outside, the first of the boarding parties had entered the enemy ships. Through the comms, they could hear the surprised cries of the Void Reapers as they faced human Marines in direct combat. They weren't expecting us to be so strong, Martinez reported from the lead boarding party. Their internal gravity is lower than Earth normal. We're moving faster than they can react. Ambassador Ilara watched the tactical display in amazement. You truly are Deathworlders, she whispered. But you use your strength to protect life rather than take it. Catherine nodded. That's humanity's choice. We were forged on a challenging world that made us strong. Now we use that strength for those who need it. The modified weapons came online. Beams of luminary frequency light hit the Void Reaper ships. The effect was immediate. The enemy vessels broke formation, retreating from the painful light. They're falling back, Hayes announced triumphantly. But the largest Reaper ship turned directly toward the Intrepid. It accelerated, clearly intending to ram the human flagship. Brace for impact, Catherine ordered calmly. The bridge crew grabbed their stations. Ambassador Ilara's eyes widened in fear. The impact never came. At the last moment, one of Earth's smaller ships, the Valiant, moved into position. It fired all weapons at the Reaper vessel, tearing through its engines. The enemy ship veered off course, drifting powerless. The Valiant took heavy damage, Hayes reported, but they're intact. The remaining Void Reapers retreated, jumping away into FTL. The human boarding parties returned to their ships, bringing valuable intelligence and even a few captive Reapers for study. As the battle ended, Ambassador Ilara approached Admiral Everett. You answered our call when no one else would. You fought for beings you had never met. The galaxy will remember this day when the Deathworlders came not to conquer, but to save. Catherine looked out at the stars. This is just the beginning. Ambassador, humanity has entered the galactic stage and we come as guardians. The battle was over, but the work had just begun. Human engineers in heavy spacesuits moved across the damaged sections of the Crystal Station, making repairs that the Luminari could not handle themselves. Inside, medical teams treated wounded aliens while security details kept watch for any remaining Void Reapers. Admiral Everett walked through the station's main concourse with Ambassador Alara. The area was vast, with ceilings that reached up hundreds of feet. Luminari moved about nervously, staring at the humans with a mixture of fear and wonder. "Your people seem afraid of us," Catherine noted. Alara's skin pulsed with gentle light. "They have never seen beings like you, so dense, so strong. Many of our oldest stories tell of solid beings from heavy worlds. We called them world shapers or stonewalkers. We thought they were myths. And now we're real," Catherine said with a small smile. "Yes, and you saved us when no one else would." They reached a large circular chamber where Luminari leaders had gathered. The room was beautiful, with walls that looked like flowing water frozen in crystal. In the center sat a round table with chairs sized for the tall, slender aliens. One chair had been replaced with a sturdier, human-sized seat. The Luminari Council head, an elderly being whose light glowed in gentle purple waves, gestured for Catherine to sit. "Admiral Everett of Earth," the Council head said, "we have no words sufficient to thank you. For generations, the Void Reapers have hunted peaceful species. They consider it their right as predators." "On Earth, we have predators too," Catherine replied. "But we also have laws and ethics. Strength does not give the right to harm others." Colonel Martinez entered the chamber with Dr. Wells and Samantha Rodriguez. Martinez looked uncomfortable in the delicate surroundings, aware that his muscular frame could easily damage the crystal furnishings. "Admiral," he reported, "we've secured the station. No Reaper forces remain aboard. But we found something you should know." Dr. Wells stepped forward, holding a data pad. "The Reapers left tracking devices. They plan to return with a larger force." The Luminari Council members' lights dimmed in fear. The Council head's voice trembled. "They will bring their fleet. Hundreds of ships. Even your brave forces cannot stand against so many." Catherine looked at Martinez. "What did you learn from the captured Reapers?" "They're scouts," he explained. "Their main fleet is about 3 days away at FTL speeds. They've been attacking civilizations like the Luminari for centuries, taking resources, specimens, leaving devastation behind." "Can we evacuate the station?" Catherine asked Alara. The ambassador shook her head. 30,000 Luminari live here. Our ships cannot carry so many, and we have nowhere else to go. This station is our last refuge." Catherine was quiet for a moment. Then she stood, looking around at the gathered Luminari. "We will not abandon you. Earth did not send its fleet across 20 light years to retreat at the first major challenge." She turned to her team. "Colonel, we need to prepare defenses. Dr. Wells, continue studying Reaper biology. Find more weaknesses. Ms. Rodriguez, contact Earth. Tell them our situation and request that they prepare a second fleet just in case." As the humans left to carry out their orders, the Council head approached Catherine. "You would risk your lives for us? After just meeting our kind? That's what humans do," Catherine replied simply. Over the next 3 days, humans and Luminari worked together to prepare for the coming battle. The Luminari taught humans about their technology, which was based on crystal manipulation and light, energy. In return, humans showed the Luminari how to enhance their defenses. In the Intrepid's lab, Dr. Wells made a breakthrough. He studied the captured Reapers and found that beyond their sensitivity to Luminari light, they had another weakness: their environmental suits. He explained to Catherine and Martinez. They evolved in low-light conditions with specific atmospheric requirements. Outside their ships, they rely completely on those suits. And the suits have a flaw. "What kind of flaw?" Martinez asked. "They filter specific light frequencies, the ones the Luminari naturally emit. But if we could overwhelm those filters, Catherine nodded with understanding. We could effectively blind them. Better, Wells said. Their respiratory systems would fail. They wouldn't die immediately, but they'd be forced to retreat. In the station's central defense chamber, Samantha worked with Luminari technicians to merge human and alien communication systems. They could now coordinate battle movements seamlessly across both fleets. The Luminari ships are faster than ours, she told Catherine, but they've never used that speed offensively. They've always just run away. Now they won't have to run, Catherine said firmly. On the third day, alarms sounded across the station and fleet. Long-range sensors detected multiple FTL signatures. Approaching. The Reaper fleet, Captain Hayes confirmed from the Intrepid's bridge. Initial count shows over 200 ships. Catherine returned to her flagship. The Earth fleet gathered in defensive formation around the Crystal Station. The Luminari ships, now equipped with modified human weapons, joined them. All ships, battle stations, Catherine ordered. This is Admiral Everett to all Earth and Luminari vessels. Today we stand together against those who believe strength gives the right to harm others. We will show them that true strength lies in protection, not predation. The Void Reaper fleet emerged from FTL travel. Their ships were massive, angular, and black as space itself. In the center was their flagship, 5 times the size of the Intrepid. They're broadcasting a message, Samantha reported. Put it through, Catherine ordered. A harsh, grating voice filled the bridge. Primitive species. You interfere in matters beyond your understanding. The weak exist to serve the strong. This is the law of nature. Catherine stood straight. This is Admiral Catherine Everett of Earth. We recognize no such law. Return to your territory and leave peaceful species alone, or face the consequences. Harsh laughter answered her. Earth? We know nothing of this world, but we know the Luminari. They are prey, as you will soon be. They don't know what humans, Martinez said quietly. They have no idea what they're facing. Catherine nodded. Then let's show them. All ships, execute Battle Plan Delta. Colonel, prepare boarding parties. Dr. Wells, activate the light frequency jammers. The human and Luminari ships moved as one. Instead of forming a static defensive line, they broke into smaller groups, moving quickly to surround portions of the Reaper fleet. The Reapers, expecting an easy victory, found themselves suddenly fighting, on multiple fronts. Their larger vessels tried to target the Intrepid, but the human flagship moved with surprising speed for its size. In space, small human craft launched toward the Reaper vessels. Inside were Marines in specialized suits, equipped with weapons designed by Dr. Wells that emitted concentrated luminary light frequencies. First boarding parties have breached Reaper ships, Martinez reported from his command post. Resistance is heavy, but our people are advancing. On the main screen, Catherine watched as human and Luminari ships coordinated their attacks. The Luminari vessels, despite their limited weapons, moved with incredible grace, drawing Reaper fire and then darting away before they could be hit. The Reapers are using predictable attack patterns, Dr. Wright noted, studying the tactical display. They've never faced an enemy that fought back effectively. They don't know how to adapt. A massive explosion lit up space as one of the larger Reaper ships detonated, then another. The boarding parties were succeeding. The Reaper flagship is moving, Hayes warned. It's targeting the station directly. Catherine watched as the enormous black ship pushed through their defensive line, heading straight for the crystal structure. Intrepid, intercept course, she ordered. All available ships concentrate fire on that flagship. The human vessel moved to place itself between the Reaper flagship and the station. The two massive ships faced each other in space. They're powering up their main weapon, Hayes reported. It's stronger than anything we've seen so far. Catherine's eyes narrowed. Divert all power to forward shields and target their weapon. Ports with everything we have. The Reaper weapon fired, a beam of dark energy that struck the Intrepid head-on. The human ship shuddered under the impact. Alarm klaxons wailed. Shields failing, Hayes called out. Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7. Fire all weapons, Catherine ordered calmly. The Intrepid's weapons blazed. Joined by fire from 3 other human ships, the barrage struck the Reaper flagship's main weapon port. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a series of explosions rippled across the enemy vessel. "Their weapon is destabilizing," Wright announced. "The energy is feeding back into their systems." The Reaper flagship began to break apart from within. Explosions tore through its hull as its own weapon turned against it. Across the battlefield, the remaining Reaper ships, seeing their flagship destroyed, began to retreat. Some made it to FTL. Others were disabled by the combined human and Luminari forces. When the last enemy ship had fled or been captured, a cheer went up across the fleet. Catherine released the breath she'd been holding. "Damage report," she requested. "The Intrepid took heavy damage," Hayes replied. 4 ships lost, 12 damaged, but repairable. Casualty numbers still coming in, but preliminary reports suggest fewer than expected. She looked out at the stars where the last traces of the Reaper fleet were dissap. 2 weeks had passed since the battle. The Crystal Station glowed with renewed energy as the last repairs were completed. Human and Luminary worked side by side, learning from each other. Admiral Everett stood in the observation deck of the Intrepid, watching the activity. The ship had been badly damaged in the fight but was now almost restored. Captain Hayes approached, holding a data pad. "Final reports, Admiral," he said. "All Earth ships are ready for the journey home. The station's defenses are upgraded and operational." Catherine nodded. "And our casualties?" Hayes's expression grew solemn. 87 personnel lost. Another 112 injured, but most will recover fully." Catherine closed her eyes briefly. Each loss weighed on her. They had been the first humans to die in defense of an alien species. Their names would be remembered in history. "And the Luminari?" she asked. "They lost nearly 1,000 in the attacks before we arrived," Hayes replied. "But thanks to our intervention, the remaining 30,000 on the station survived." Ambassador Alara entered the observation deck. The Luminari now moved more confidently around humans, no longer afraid of accidental contact with the stronger beings. "Admiral," Alara greeted, "the Council requests your presence. They wish to thank you formally before your departure." Catherine followed Alara to a shuttle that took them to the station. Inside, the central chamber had been transformed. Where before it had been a meeting room, now it was decorated for a ceremony. All of the senior human officers stood on one side. The entire Luminary Council waited on the other. The council head stepped forward. "Admiral Everett, Colonel Martinez, Dr. Wells, Ms. Rodriguez, Dr. Wright, you and your brave people changed the course of our history. For the first time, the Void Reapers have been defeated. You have given us more than safety. You have given us hope." The Luminary leader presented Catherine with a crystal sculpture that caught the light and broke it into 1,000 colors. "This is our highest honor," the council had explained. "It represents the moment when the Deathworlders came to our rescue. It will be displayed permanently in the center of our station as a reminder of Earth's courage." Catherine accepted the gift with a slight bow. "I thank you on behalf of all humans. We came because it was right to help those in need. We stayed because we found friends worth fighting for." Martinez stepped forward. "With your permission, 20 of my Marines will remain here to train your people in defense tactics, and to learn from you as well." The council head's light pulsed with joy. "We welcome them, and we have something to offer in return." Another Luminari brought forward a data crystal. "This contains star maps of all known civilizations in this sector of the galaxy. Most are peaceful species like ourselves. Some might benefit from Earth's protection. All would welcome contact with your kind." Dr. Wright studied the crystal with fascination. "This will advance our understanding of the galaxy by centuries." "There is more," Alara said. "Our scientists wish to share our crystal technology with Earth. While we may lack your physical strength, our light manipulation abilities could complement your own technologies." Catherine looked at her team, seeing the excitement in their eyes. What had begun as a rescue mission was becoming something much more important, the foundation of a galactic alliance. "Earth would be honored to exchange knowledge," she replied, as Mawan Pais. The ceremony concluded, Catherine walked with Alara through the station's botanical garden. Plants that looked like flowing glass grew alongside Earth species that the luminary found fascinating. "What will you do when you return home?" Alara asked. "Report to Earth's leaders," Catherine said. "Tell them what we've learned, and recommend that we establish a permanent presence here, a human embassy to the luminary and a joint defense force." Alara's lights brightened. "Do you think your people will agree?" "I do. Humans have dreamed of finding other intelligent life among the stars. For as long as we've looked up at the night sky, meeting you has answered one of our oldest questions. We are not alone. Now we face new questions about how we live together in this galaxy." "The Void Reapers will return eventually," Alara said, her light dimming slightly. "And we'll be ready," Catherine assured her. "Together." Later that day, Catherine addressed the combined human and luminary crews in the station's main hall. "When we received a distress call from unknown beings 20 light-years away, we didn't hesitate. We answered. Not knowing what we would find, we came prepared to help. That decision has changed 2 civilizations forever." She looked around at the faces before her, the solid, determined expressions of her human crews and the glowing, hopeful lights of the luminari. "We discovered that we are different in many ways. Humans evolved on a world with high gravity, harsh weather, and constant challenges. Those conditions made us physically stronger than many species. The luminari developed in a gentler environment that allowed them to focus on art, science, and peaceful cooperation." Catherine gestured to where human engineers worked alongside luminari technicians, each contributing their unique strengths to a shared project. "Our differences are not obstacles, but advantages. When we combine human resilience with luminary technology, we become stronger than either could be alone. This is just the beginning of what we can accomplish together." The next morning, most of the Earth fleet prepared for departure. The ships would return to Earth with news of their success and the proposal for a permanent alliance. The Intrepid would remain behind with a skeleton crew to maintain human presence at the station. Colonel Martinez oversaw the loading of supplies. "Admiral, the remaining Marines are settled in their quarters on the station. Training programs begin tomorrow." Samantha Rodriguez joined them. "The communication relay is operational. We can now send messages directly to Earth without delay." Dr. Wells approached with a luminary scientist. "We've started cataloging the biological differences between our species. The medical applications alone could revolutionize treatment for both our peoples." Catherine nodded with satisfaction. "And Dr. Wright?" "Working with luminary tacticians to develop joint defense strategies," Martinez replied. "She's in her element." The last shuttle was ready to depart for the ships returning to Earth. Catherine prepared to board, then paused and looked back at the crystal station glowing against the backdrop of space. When the distress call had reached Earth, no one could have predicted this outcome. Humans had entered the galactic community not as conquerors but as protectors. They had found not just new allies, but a new purpose. "Admiral?" Hayes was waiting at the shuttle door. "It's time." Catherine nodded and stepped aboard. As the shuttle lifted off, she watched the station grow smaller. Part of her fleet would go home to share what they had learned. But this was not an ending. It was a beginning. Earth had answered a call from the stars. The response had changed everything. Humanity's first steps into the wider galaxy had established them not as a threat to be feared, but as guardians to be welcomed. The Deathworlders had found their place among the stars,